Imagine discovering that your older brother wasn't just claiming to speak to God. He believed he was God's chosen prophet, and he convinced the people closest to him to kill for what he called the greater good. This is the terrifying story of the children of thunder. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. Taylor Helzer grew up in a deeply religious Mormon family. He was the oldest of 3 kids. He had a brother, Justin, who was 18 months younger, and a sister named Heather, who was 2 years younger than Justin. Their parents, Karma and Gerald Helzer, were devout Mormons who raised their children the same way. Their grandfather, Doyle Sorensen, would talk at length about an experience he claimed to have had with Jesus. He said he personally met Jesus in the flesh, hugged him, kissed him, and held his hand. He would tell this to anyone who would listen, and Taylor, being so interested in the Mormon religion, was totally captivated. Taylor was an outgoing kid with lots of friends and was very involved in the church. In 1983, when the family began struggling financially, they moved back to California to live with Karma's parents, the Sorensens, who were also extremely devout Mormons. Prayer and scripture were constant in the Sorensen household. As Taylor grew into his teens, he became even more involved in the church and became a standout among the youth. Church leaders constantly made comments about Taylor being special. He was always wanting to learn more and teach others, knew scriptures inside and out, and was seen as a positive influence. Family members said that when Taylor spoke, people listened. He knew how to charm and command a room. And remember, he's still a teenager at this point. In 1989, when Taylor was 19, he was selected to go to Brazil on a 2-year mission trip for the church. This was actually a pretty big deal because he was considered a rising star within the church. Taylor really excelled on this trip. He set records converting people to Mormonism. Everyone loved him there, and he impressed people with the way he spoke and conducted himself. This just further proved to Taylor that he was a prophet and that he could speak directly to God. After returning from a mission in Brazil, his beliefs became increasingly extreme. He disagreed with what he was supposed to be teaching about the timing of the coming apocalypse. Taylor believed the end of the world was coming very, very soon. But this wasn't what he was supposed to be teaching. He insisted he could communicate directly with God. Taylor also became fixated on all the sins he saw in Brazil, like people having sex before marriage, which appalled him. When church leaders rejected his growing delusions, Taylor didn't question himself. Instead, he decided the church had lost its way. Around the same time, Taylor became involved in aggressive self-improvement seminars that relied on humiliation, sleep deprivation, and emotional breakdowns before rebuilding participants' confidence. Combined with his religious obsession, these experiences only reinforced his belief that he was destined to lead others. When he returned home, his mother was happy to welcome him back and tell him about a self-help program she'd recently become involved in called Harmony Impact Training. And she insisted that Taylor and his sister Heather take part in the program as well. This program had the mantra that essentially there was no right and no wrong, only results. It involved instructors literally screaming at members, calling them names, and saying the worst things about them. They would force people to give up secrets about themselves in front of other members, then break them into groups where people would take turns humiliating each person. The instructors would deprive them of sleep by forcing them to undergo psychological games pretty much all day and night for 2 days. Many people would get so distraught they would completely break down. Some would start banging their heads, bang tables and chairs, break things, and many vomited because they were so stressed. Then the instructors would take things down a bit and begin building members back up using positive imagery and language. Surprisingly, a lot of people came out of this program feeling better than ever, including Taylor and Heather. In 1993, Taylor got married to a woman named Anne, who he knew from high school. Anne wasn't Mormon, but was willing to convert for Taylor. Anne's uncle helped Taylor get a job as a financial advisor, then eventually a stockbroker, and the couple had 2 children together. Now that Taylor was out on his own, he finally got a taste of things he'd been denied growing up. But this particular aspect of married life, sex with his wife, fell short of what Taylor imagined it would be. He wanted his wife to be sexually submissive and give in to whatever new things he wanted to try, but she wasn't comfortable with that. Soon, Taylor grew bored with his family life and turned back to Harmony Impact training to bring meaning back to his life. But this only pushed him further from his family. By 1995, Anne was so concerned about him that she recommended he see a psychiatrist. He wasn't being as loving and positive as before. He no longer resembled the man she had married. During therapy sessions, it became a theme that Taylor was really unhappy about his sex life. He told the therapist he wanted Anne to do things he saw in pornographic movies, and resented Anne because he said before they got married, she tricked him into thinking she would be more sexually adventurous. Then Taylor explained to his therapist how he planned to fill this sexual void. He said he wanted to gather up a small group of women from Brazil and have them sign contracts committing themselves to having daily sex with him for the next 2 years. Keep in mind, he felt this was his best option, not divorce, because that would be considered a sin in the eyes of the church. Taylor eventually left Anne in 1996 and moved in with his brother Justin, completely walking away from his family. Around this time, Taylor began experimenting with drugs, alcohol, and sex with other women, pretty much everything he had always preached against. And he was doing hard drugs too. This wasn't just pot smoking. This was meth and cocaine, serious stuff. His younger brother, Justin, never stopped looking up to him. Their mother had spent years encouraging Justin to follow Taylor's lead without question. Soon, another devoted follower joined them. A woman named Dawn Godman, searching for purpose after years of hardship, became convinced Taylor really was a prophet. Together, they formed a group called the Children of Thunder. This was a nod to a biblical story about John and James, who were called to sit at the right and left sides of Jesus and were referred to as the Sons of Thunder. But since Dawn was a woman, Taylor decided their group should be called the Children of Thunder instead, with himself playing the part of Jesus. Taylor, Dawn, and Justin were now inseparable, and all rented a house together in Concord. Now that Taylor had his devoted helpers, he was ready to put his plan to take over the Mormon church and the world into action. To do that, he said they needed millions of dollars. When legitimate work couldn't fund his vision, he decided innocent people would. His first targets were an elderly couple who had once trusted him as their financial advisor. The plan was simple: force them to sign over money, silence them, then disappear without a trace. The crimes quickly escalated. Witnesses became targets. People who had unknowingly helped Taylor were marked for death. Each murder was justified as part of a divine mission. Taylor insisted they weren't killing innocent people. He claimed they were carrying out God's will. His followers believed him. But every plan leaves evidence behind. Suspicious bank transactions, missing victims, and abandoned vehicles gradually connected the investigation. When police searched the Helzer home, they uncovered documents linking the group to multiple victims. Soon afterward, human remains were discovered inside duffel bags in California's Sacramento River Delta. The illusion of a secret holy mission collapsed almost overnight. After the arrests, Taylor initially tried to take the fall for everything in an attempt to save Justin and Dawn, but that wasn't going to happen. But investigators soon uncovered the full story. The district attorney wanted all 3 cult members to face the death penalty. A cult deprogrammer was brought in to work with Dawn, and it took several weeks before she would finally start to realize that she had been brainwashed by Taylor. Once she realized that everything she had done and participated in had been for nothing, Dawn eventually broke away from Taylor's influence and testified against him, describing years of manipulation, fear, and absolute obedience. Her testimony revealed how easily devotion had been transformed into violence. Taylor Helzer was sentenced to death for multiple murders. Justin also received a death sentence. Dawn received a lengthy prison sentence after cooperating with prosecutors. Even after his conviction, Taylor never expressed remorse. He continued insisting he had acted as a prophet, carrying out God's plan. He described the murders as being more like what a soldier does in battle, and that the deaths had just been collateral damage. Justin Helzer made several attempts on his life while he was in prison. One of those attempts involved him stabbing himself in the eyes with pins and pencils, which left him at least partially blind. His final attempt on his life was successful, as he was found hanging in his cell in 2013. The Children of Thunder never grew into a massive organization. There were no thousands of followers, no hidden compound. Just one charismatic man, one devoted brother, and one vulnerable believer. But history has shown it doesn't take a large cult to create unimaginable tragedy. Sometimes all it takes is one person convinced they're speaking for God, and a few people willing to believe them. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe. Don't forget to subscribe, because there are still more stories to cover this week about some of the world's most dangerous cults. I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.